Hi everyone, we're going to do a quick technique video today using the Bokeh Technique, which is a Japanese word that's used to describe the sort of blurred image that you sometimes have in photographs, sort of out of focus spots in a photograph, bokeh. And so we can imitate that in our paper crafting. A lot of people use watercolor paper to get that effect, but I'm going to show you a technique to create that without any watercolor paper, just using regular cardstock. So we're going to start off with just a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we want to get a light layer of color on that. So to do that, we're going to take some soft sky ink and we're just going to sponge over this entire piece of cardstock, just to get a little bit of color on that base. You don't want it necessarily even. It's okay for it to look splotchy, and you don't want it to be very dark. You just want a light layer of color. And so when you have enough color around, then we're going to create the sort of blurred spots that you see in the bokeh effect. And to do that, we're going to use some masking. I punched some circles. I have a 1 3/8 inch circle, a 1 1/4 inch circle, and a 1 inch circle that I punched out. And then I have a smaller circle that was used that I got from the larger eye circle on the Owl Builder punch. And I put some removable adhesive on those, and we're just going to stick one in place. And we're going to take that soft sky ink that we just used, and we're going to define the edges of that circle a little bit more. And you can punch out as many circles as you need. I didn't punch out extra circles. I just sort of used my circles over and over and moved them around. And then just continue to sponge around those edges until you have all of the little white spot definitions that you need. And then we're going to just place those masks back on and come in with a little bit darker color, and we're going to shade more areas, but we're going to not make the shading as defined as it was with the lighter color. And the next layer I'm going to use is going to be Lost Lagoon ink. I'm just going to wipe off my sponge a little bit before I go to my paper so that it's not full strength on there. I do want areas that are darker than the soft sky ink, but I do want it to blend nicely also. And you're just going to add your masks back on and continue to darken just certain spots. It doesn't matter at this point if you get some ink in the circles that you've already sponged, because we'll be blurring those some anyway, so that'll be okay. That there's ink that bleeds over. Let's see, we didn't use that one. Now for the next step, we're going to add in a different color. We've used 2 different shades of blue, and now we're going to use some green. We're going to use some pistachio pudding ink. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the darker blue and rub off some on my paper before I go on to my project so that it's not full strength on there. And these I don't want to use the mask for because I'm just sort of creating that blurred image look. So just wherever you want some additional color, go in with your green ink. And we'll just continue to put a little more green in there and sort of kind of bleed those colors together some. Okay, and then once you have it the way that you want it, there's one additional step that I did before I stamped my sentiment. I came in with a Whisper White cardstock, ink pad, and I used the eraser tip of a pencil, and I just stamped some additional little small white spots on my project. Just to kind of mimic and add to that blurred out of focus effect. Okay, and when you have all of those, not sure how well you can see that. They are on there though. When you have all of those that you need, then you just are going to come in with your sentiment. I'm using the Way to Go sentiment from the Bravo, Stampin' Up's Bravo stamp set. And I wanted this to be really bold and stand out. So I'm stamping it with the black ink right there in the corner. Way to go. And so that's the front layer of our card. And to finish it, I'll show you. I just layered it on a piece of black cardstock, and then my base is Lost Lagoon, which was the darker color that we used to sponge. So that's a pretty easy way to get the bokeh technique without having to use water or watercolor paper. Hope you've enjoyed the video and that you'll stop by again soon.